Wait a minute, where do I start?
I'll just ask you some questions.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
yep. Lynda, we're here in let me start again. I don't even know where I am.
We're on the planet Earth,
We are.
and it's still in our solar system. Go ahead.
Lynda, we're in San Francisco.
Yes.
You're out here homeless. Tell me about it.
The reason I'm homeless is because I'm married to a man that's here. And in case of an emergency, notify. So I dropped everything and came to San Francisco.
So you came here for a man.
My husband, my
Yeah.
legal husband. He lives inside and I'm still out here. It's kind of moronic, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse my potty mouth at any time, please.
So how long have you been outside here?
I've been here in San Francisco 2.5 years.
Outside?
Yes,
That's way too long.
it is. It's weird. I don't always stay up in the Tenderloin. I make it a habit of only sleeping one place 2 days in a row. And I get up and move and find another place to stay.
Well, you told me somebody stole one of your shoes last night.
Yeah, I was on the other side of the street. And I have a bad heart, so yesterday I felt awful all day. And the man that manages this, sometimes they're at work, so yesterday I was at work and get out of it in front of the building, blah, blah, blah. Moved across the street and I was sleeping there and took one shoe off, mind you. And when I woke up, 6 o'clock this morning, it was gone.
Well, a year ago, something horrible happened.
Yeah. A Chinese crescent Chihuahua Jack Russell that I found when it was 2 days old in my hand in Orange Cove.
You had a puppy.
It was just a baby. His eyes were barely open. And, I was up here, went through it all. He didn't even have a name until he was 60 days old, because I didn't know if he'd live or not.
Right.
And I named him Shadow Puppet for short. We're in the financial district on Annie Square, Annie Street, behind the Palace Hotel, playing and then with a little toy. June 1st, this man was fighting with a woman. Hey, my puppy saw him slapping, or slap her, and then push her down and take a selfie. When he walked by us, he tried to kick him. He tried to kick him. So any dog is going to go after the guy. Anybody. He was just 10 pounds. And I called him back to me, and the lady was able to get away. I called him back, and he was coming towards me. He was maybe 5 feet from me. And that man screamed and said, if he comes towards me one more time, I'll kick him. In a very angry voice. And my dog Puppet looked at me and I said, get back here, I know what you're thinking. And he ran towards the guy, and the guy kicked him like a football into the wall. And he killed him. He gave my puppy mouth to mouth. I brought him back to life. And everybody in the Monodoc building and Palace Hotel and all the delivery drivers were there. My puppy lasted 18 hours and died. And that coward ran away.
I'm so sorry.
And I was never contacted to go to court or anything. And today marks a whole year my puppy's been gone.
But they did catch him.
They caught the guy, I guess, on the 10th of June, and they didn't let me know until the 14th of June.
Yeah. Because they caught him on a security camera, and he got charged with a felony.
Yeah, but I didn't never get to go to court. And I was told because I went with a social worker for the year and went out. I went with him to Bryant Street, the victims of violent crime. And they told me because I wanted a rape victim living inside, they couldn't relocate me, and I wasn't a domestic violence person living inside. They couldn't relocate me. I was just a homeless person.
Oh my God.
And I had no resources.
I'm so sorry.
So I didn't get any help at all. Nothing. I didn't even get to go to court. They didn't even come and help me go to court for him. I don't even know the man got sentenced or not.
I'm so sorry.
So, there's a big crack in their system here.
Right.
And it needs to be filled in. I mean, if a woman gets raped here, a victim of violent crime, they give you this paper.
Right.
You're supposed to get help.
Right.
But if you're homeless, you get nothing. So why bother cutting down that freaking tree, handing these girls these stakes that's worthless? You don't get this system here. I'm from Santa Cruz, and that would never. I would have went court, but here they just ignored me.
So
They
then
didn't offer nothing.
the community helped you get another dog.
No, I bought a dog in August. Somebody stole it right here within 9 days.
So a person kicked your puppy to death.
A puppet.
He got
He got caught, but I don't know what he got.
right. And then
I
you
bought
got another one,
I bought a
pup.
little puppy in August. It was a Jack Russell Terrier mix. Little teen puppy.
So
And I had it 9 days.
and somebody took it.
Somebody stole it.
So that's how it was actually how we connected was somebody from the city saw a video of that a woman who's befriended you, who's wonderful, Angela, had
Right.
posted, and they sent it to me,
No,
and I
no.
contacted.
The puppy that's missing now was my third puppy.
Yeah.
Or my second puppy. I got him every shot he needed. Angela, I made the appointment for him to get his buddy. I got him when he was 6 weeks old for $50. He'll be 6 months old on the 8th of this month.
Right.
I got him every puppy package shot he needed.
Yeah.
Rabies, microchip, and Angela, I made the appointment, Angela brought him up there.
Well, homeless people take care of their pets, often better than house people.
Yes.
And
When Puppet passed away, the SBCA said, because he ended up at the BCA Animal Hospital here,
yeah.
they put, how they go in and put your name and the pet's name and press enter to make a chart.
Yeah.
Well, the BCA Animal Hospital in Santa Cruz, on Richard Street in Santa Cruz, was hands back. And it brought up everything. And they said, this is not a normal homeless person's dog. He offered to give me a dog. But it was like, it's a thing. I'd rather buy one off the street and try to make it a little better, a better life.
Right.
No,
So you had a new puppy,
yeah, buddy.
and this kind of ties into one of the biggest problems here for homeless people is there's no bathrooms for people.
That's right. I went into this building here with buddy.
Right, and you're looking for a place, somebody to take care of your dog while you went to the bathroom.
Exactly. And he tipped over a can of turpentine. I don't know what it was there for.
Right?
That's Carmen's. That's Carmen's stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, somebody's trying to steal some homeless woman's stuff right now.
Oh my gosh.
So, right there. So check it out. My buddy tipped over a can of turpentine, and I came and got him out of the bathroom and pants and ankle, and I went on the bus and all the way down to the gallery, the red door on 2nd Street or 2nd Minute. They gave me hot water and Dawn dishwashing soap, so I could wash him, and he drank a bowl of milk, and he was still acting funny. So I called these friends, or I texted these friends, and they came and got him. I suppose I took him to the vet the first time. But if he was almost dying of turpentine, you wouldn't have waited until the next day to take him to the vet.
Right.
And so I called the guy through the urban community team phone. He called me back. He said he'd bring him on Saturday the 10th of May. He never showed up. And then on Monday, or Saturday when he never showed up, I came and told Angela.
So you're supposed to bring your dog back, and he never did.
Several times.
And
the
so
vet
basically
called
your
Angela.
dog's been dog jacked.
Struggling. And he says, because I'm homeless, I don't deserve my pet.
Well, I've heard that you take amazing care of your dogs.
I do.
And they're support animals for you. It's hell out here.
I focus all my energy on the pet. I have depression with self-harm impulses. I have a heart problem. It's called an atrial flutter. I am going totally blind. I'm never not sick, so they can do the awake surgery for my eye. I have COPD. And this puppy is an amazing little guy. And he makes me focus on life. I have anxiety when I'm on a bus. I think he does too, because he starts barking and I have to cuddle with him. So it's like, I haven't cut my arms in over 2 years. And I just recently did. And that I've been a cutter since I was 17. And
I saw.
Here,
I saw.
people, I'm not ashamed what I am. Just the mental health of me.
Lynda, you need to get into housing. They need to get you into housing.
I wish they would.
What?
I said I wish they would.
Yeah.
You know, it's really horrible when you go in for a TB test, have applied, and you have a heart attack.
My goodness. So I know the police are working on getting your...
They are now,
And-
because of Angela.
Yeah, Angela's been advocating for you.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do. I know I have this AS degree in human services and mental health, but it's like, I'm lost here. I'm like a deer in a headlight. I'm just so stunned that we made this police report. I did everything I needed to do, and I'm still not helped. You know, some days I say, stop the world, I'm going to push some people off.
So how do you survive out here?
I have a little bit of money, and I have all kinds. And when I have a pet, I spend all my money on that pet, and then I panhandle leftovers or help if you can. And I have somebody always babysitting my pet, so he's not out there with me. Because I don't have a sign that says, hungry, homeless, need dog food. They know you're hungry and homeless if you're outside. But it's like, I don't panhandle for my pet. It's a given that I take care of my pet.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
For everybody to leave. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you were telling me earlier you got lots of jokes. Try to make the best of it.
Everybody's served with something in their life. Something made them be here.
Right.
Something made them not want to go inside or not want to follow some rules or whatever it is. Don't prejudge a person because they're homeless. What happened in their life before you saw them every day? Something that happened in their past.
That got them to the streets.
that they don't trust anybody. They don't trust the system. It's like when Angela's telling me all this stuff is going to happen for me. And when I see it, I'll believe it.
Right.
Don't give me false hope.
Right. It's a huge
Every
issue.
day I get served lemons. Every day I make lemonade and laugh and joke and try to make the ones around me that I care about smile and laugh. My 3 wishes would be that me and the girls would hang out together because it's unsafe for one of us to go somewhere by ourselves. We get housed. Get the health service they need. And basically...
And Buddy back.
Happy, Happy, as happy as they could be.
Yeah.
The non hopelessness really sucks out here.
Yeah, it's hard.
I want a system that works for people out here. Not the ones that are inside, like the Crosby, those were homeless.
Yeah.
And they complain about us sleeping in front of their building, but you are where we are. Don't forget where you came from. Can't ignore us. We're not going away until something's fixed.
You're just trying to survive.
That's right. And half the time it's like, some people drink, some people smoke, some do some kind of drugs. You do too, but you're behind the walls.
Well, it's hard to use homeless sober.
You're behind your doors when you get high.
Right,
but
right.
we're all out here and you get to see it.
Right. So.
What's the difference between me and you? You do it behind doors and I have to do it out on the street.
Good point.
And you're all one paycheck away from homelessness. Anything else?
Well, Lynda, it's been an honor to meet you. You're a great hugger.
I don't like cancer.
And thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you for coming and hearing me. Thank you very much. You are appreciated.
Hey everybody, Lynda's story is really important. But what I found also very important and very unique was Angela's story, who's trying to help Lynda. And how this all came about is I was talking to someone from Homeless Services in the city of San Francisco. They sent me a tweet from Angela. I connected, and here we are.
Right.
But I was talking to Angela this morning, and she said she was one of those people that thought homeless people didn't take care of their dogs.
I was. I moved back to San Francisco in December of 2016, and it was very cold and it was very wet, and I was probably a little judgmental when I got here when it came to the pets on the street. But there were 2 women that I noticed right off the bat, Lynda and another woman that both had little dogs. And on really cold or wet nights, they didn't have their little dogs. And I asked, where's Monkey, where's Puppet? And I would get the answer, well, when it's too cold, he goes inside. And I thought, wow.
So they're getting their pets inside, but they're staying outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly. And then as time went on, the tragedy with Puppet happened, and that was just that brought a dark cloud over the whole city. We were heartbroken to hear about it, especially people in the neighborhood. I knew who Puppet was. My dogs knew Puppet. And I kind of felt like maybe more support would be needed moving forward. So Lynda got Buddy, and Buddy was just this tiny little 6-month-old guy, and I kind of watched her for a while because I wasn't very close with her, and it's kind of hard to get close with some of the homeless people because they're very distrustful.
Yeah.
And I understand why now.
Yeah.
And I kind of, let her know. I said, hey, if you ever need somebody to keep an eye on Buddy, which was her new doggie, which was an amazing little puppy, I said, just let me know. I have 2 dogs. I can, he can hang out with us. And I think a few days later, a friend of hers was in the hospital, and she knew she couldn't take Buddy with her. So she let me keep him, and it was just a few hours, and she came back, and I looked her in the eye, and I felt like it was a really important thing to say to her. I was like, no matter what, I want you to know that I will always give you Buddy back. You know, don't ever be worried about me.
That's a huge thing. So as I travel, when a homeless person says, could you watch my shopping cart? Can you watch my stuff? I am honored because that means they trust me.
Yeah.
Now, for them to say, could you watch my pet? Which is what gives them unconditional love out here when they're abused constantly.
Yes.
That's huge.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And then Lynda came to me, and it was a rainy and cold night, and I said, of course, you know, and I made sure I took lots of pictures, and Buddy played with my doggies. And then we found Lynda the next day, and we continued to build trust.
Yeah.
And I ended up being the one to take Buddy to get neutered and get his rabies shots. And then he recovered at my house. And it pretty much was a weekly, if not every other day, kind of contact. Our dogs would see each other. Buddy would see me from a block away, or he would be at my house, and I'd have my window open, and he could hear Lynda from a block away. And he would just go sit and bark at the window until she turned up, you know?
Because the pet, the dog, the cat,
that's his human.
Right.
That's human.
That's where they're receiving their love from.
He doesn't come into my house and go, oh yeah, here I am. He comes into my house and he spends the first 15 minutes going, well, where's Lynda?
Right.
You know, why didn't she come in here?
Right.
And then we just kind of calm him down and distract him, and you know, he's cool. And he got really used to that, and we were doing okay. And then Lynda had an unfortunate situation. And I was really glad that there was myself and one other person that kind of thought, well, if this ever happens, we don't think that she's going to be able to articulate what's going on appropriately to the police to ever get any, you know, response.
Right.
So,
because even so, the public servants, if you would, often will ignore a homeless person or brush them off. You're making it up. You're on drugs. You're drunk.
The level of excitement that they experience, the drama that they have before they walk into the station, they're just not, you know, physically capable or mentally capable of dealing with it. So, you know, first I started with negotiating with the people who had Buddy, because they had taken him to the vet for her, promising her they would return him. So that's the approach I took, and that lasted a few days, and that didn't really get anywhere. And one thing led to another, and I had reached my final straw, and I kind of have a background in social media marketing and a little bit of promotional work, and I was like, I don't have a lot that I can do.
You did good. You got me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I was like, oh my God, this is great, you know. And it took a minute, but the video of her got around. It's over 800 views. Today I checked it, it's in 6 different countries. The tweets made it around. You were somebody I found on Twitter. There were a couple of other people I found on Twitter. There's some really fantastic city officials that I'm sure are talking and doing their work as well for us. And I know that they're very private, and they don't necessarily want me to say, oh, hey, this person helped or this person helped.
Right.
They just did their job, but they did it really well.
Yeah.
And that's that.
You were telling me on the phone that when the person took Buddy to the vet, the vet said, give it back to Lynda.
Yeah.
The vet said, give it back to the homeless woman. The vet said, give it back to the homeless.
One of the most unbelievable things that happened is they took Buddy to the vet, and they said, he has a follow-up appointment on Monday. And I said, fine. I was expecting to see Buddy at 3 p.m. on Monday. At 11:30 that day, I got a text alert on my phone telling me, your lost dog, Buddy, has been found at the Brentwood Family Veterinary Clinic. And I called them immediately, and I was like, he's not lost. What's going on? Has something else happened? And she said, no, this is a follow-up appointment. She was very clear with me. And then she started asking me sort of strange questions. I thought, well, what difference does this make? You know, where does Buddy live? Who does Buddy live with? What does he eat? This kind of thing. And I was like, let me make it very clear to you. I am the legal owner of Buddy. I said, on behalf of Lynda, whom he is an emotional support animal.
Right.
And she needs her dog back. I said, you can check his demeanor. That's one happy, healthy puppy.
Right.
first time
Happy,
ever.
healthy puppy.
Just unbelievable. The people who took him were so ridiculous. They sent me videos of how happy he was at their house, and I'm like, he's always happy. But then the guy turned the camera around to turn it off at the very end, and I have a full picture of the guy who took Buddy.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, and then
So,
they continue.
give Buddy back.
Yes.
Give Buddy back. Whoever you
Hashtag-
are, if this gets to you, give Buddy back.
It's hashtag return Buddy on everywhere I've done it.
Hashtag return Buddy.
You can see the videos, you can see, sorry.
No.
Yeah, you can see everything that you need to see and understand about the case there. And if you have questions, I am 100% happy to answer them.
I'll put your Twitter down below.
Yeah.
So, there's this big thing where people will see a homeless person who's out on the street with a pet, and they automatically feel more sorry for the pet than the homeless person. And I get it. I like dogs too. You know, I totally get that. But first, it's a human. And second, more often than not, homeless people take better care of their pets than house people do.
Lynda's entire focus was Buddy. You know, there are videos online of her showing you an entire bag full of everything she carried for Buddy.
Yeah.
She massaged his gums when he was teething. I mean, this is, without that focus, Lynda has deteriorated, and I have to take a deep breath. My concern for her grows greater every day.
Right, she needs Buddy back.
Buddy, and I
you wanna
told
be a
him
little
this,
fucking
Buddy's
little
her
bitch.
medicine.
Right?
Yeah,
He's her medicine.
yeah, Buddy's. So what's the hashtag again?
Return Buddy. Hashtag return Buddy.
Hit social media, return Buddy.
There's videos, there's lots of people talking about it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.